All right, these leagues tend to be on the longer side, so we're just gonna jump right into it, huh? We've got some Kiki-Jikis, we've got some Chord of Callings, we've got some Restoration Angels. Small change today that I haven't played before is that I've got a Linvala Azurius Renegade here, which is asymmetrical, like most hate cards printed in recent years. It says non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands a player controls can't be cast. This is okay against Tron, stops them from carning and Uganing you until they're on 7 or 8 lands. And then it also says when an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So this stops your opponents from solituding you. It stops cascade spells from happening if no mana was spent on it, so seems neat from that aspect. And because this is technically an anti-cascade card, I've moved the Eidolon of Rhetoric into the sideboard. So I do think for the cascade matchup, I want an anti-cascade card that doesn't die to stomp. This does die to stomp, so I'm still playing the Eidolon here, and Storm people occasionally play too, but I think this card seems like it's more flexible in the main deck because it's also decent against Tron and the Elementals deck that's running around. So let's dive on into a league with this one and see how it goes this morning. It's been a hot second since we've Kiki people. Try and remember our companion exists today. Yeah, that seems pretty decent. Got a Solitude in case there's something really aggressive. We've got Wall of Omens and Skyclave Apparition. Morning, Colony Yogi. And I think I just take this hit here because, yeah, ideally I was going to say, ideally we'll wait to Restoration Angel until, well, we'll wait to Solitude until we can rest to it, but Ephemerate means I could do that. So do I want to shock myself and play the Wall of Omens? I think so. There's a better chance that the Solitude gets to hit multiple things if I wait a turn on it. It could be wrong to shock myself too, though. I could like play tapped land and do this with this turn. Let's see what they do here. If they have double one drop this turn, I'm a little sad that I did my sequencing this way. I would love an untapped land that doesn't hurt me. Thank you for asking. They have a light up the stage? Skewer, sure. Oh, they're killing my wall. Deal Arena. Okay, so I think that's a combo. I think I just wanna Solitude kill both their things now rather than waiting for them to untap, because I can get like Searing Blazed or something in response and not get to kill both of them. And I think I actually want to pitch the second Solitude here, because I'd rather cast the Skyclave Apparition, right? I think is the plan. So we'll do this now while they're tapped out. And then we got to figure out what we want to call for next turn. Or at the end of their turn, I should say. And then this Ephemerate's in exile, so they don't even want to play another creature out here. Honestly, it's probably just Night of Autumn, huh? I'm pretty far off of the lands for Omnath to matter. Alright, yeah, and like they killed my Solitude there, but so I don't get to lifelink with it, but I get to just go ahead and do this and gain 4. It's like it's turn 4 against Burn and we're at 20. They have 4 spells in hand, but seems like a good beat for us. Eidolon, bro. I'm just gonna go ahead and Apparition. Let me take 2. We'll take the Eidolon off the table. Sure. Every burn spell that gets pointed at one of my creatures is an incredible win for the home team. It's like it's now turn 6 and I'm at 18 and they have 3 cards in hand. I think even if we draw a land here, we're probably playing Wall of Blossoms. There's a good chance, like, when we go to combo, they bolt the Kiki, so I want to make sure we just get the most value out of all of our plays each turn here. Alright, and I assume this attack implies that they're going to point another bolt at this Wall of Blossoms, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't chance letting me draw a card. The Searing Blaze? Oh, yeah, blaze it, baby. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to be super aggressive with the Restoration Angel here. We'll just flash in Endurance and block the Goblin Guide. It's like we're at 15, just take it slow and steady. There's a Thrun on top of my deck. Honestly, I'm probably just like fetch basic mountain chord for Charming Prince this turn. Gain 3. I'll start attacking with Endurance. Like most of the matchups, this isn't really a matchup we need to combo kill them, especially in a position like this where we have so much life. Morning Burnt. Howdy, Chris. Got me. Like I said, we could theoretically combo kill them next turn if they don't have a Searing Blaze or anything like that, but I'm also pretty likely to win just gaining 3 here, so there's no reason to, like, be aggressive and get burned out. Hey, well, welcome to chat, Burnt. I appreciate the support. Drove through Iowa. Welcome to the flat. All right, so Sanctifier, en-Vec, and Auriok Champion, both reasonable. Path and Prismatic, reasonable. Don't need this one. Don't need this one. Don't need this one. I think we want most of these. Is Endurance the trim? Honestly, the 3/4 for 3 with Flash doesn't seem terrible. But it's probably the weakest card I have here, huh? Maybe we trim a Chord of Calling against their aggro deck. Seems fine. Yeah. Yeah, someone who's driven through, spend a lot of time driving around the Midwest. It's very flat territory. Let's give this a try. So on the draw, we're going to be looking for Solitudes, Prismatic Endings, Accelerants, Walls. We're going to want to mulligan hands that don't have meaningful plays on turn by turn 2. We can keep this, right? Mana's a little bit painful, but it's got Charming Prince and Skyclave Apparition. We'll grab Jeskai Triome with this first one. I guess the fact that I have to fetch Shock with this one to get double white probably means this hand wasn't a keep. Okay, with this draw, I guess if I don't do this turn, I'm not going to be able to gain life with it, though, huh? I guess I could wait to sequence this after I get rid of the Roiling Vortex. Yeah, that's probably the play. All right, let's do that. I'm going to play this tapped, and we'll path the Swiftspear this turn. Oh, this makes Solitude deal 5 to us as well. That's cute. Definitely just getting rid of this. Wow, a whole lot of nothing, huh? And that fetches for planes. Perfect. Hey, Knacker. Thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. Searing Blood. Yep. Yep. Deal 2 and 3. This is a card. I don't think I'd like Searing Blaze in Historic, but Searing Blood would be a good one. I think that's pretty appropriate power level. All right. Was the right play last turn. Yes, if you did the Strike Force to level 2, it'll pop up on the ticker in the corner. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to do that. Might hit that 175 goal today and add a stream tomorrow. So if you want some extra Magic content tomorrow, if we get 13 more on that, I'm going to do a full stream segment tomorrow in my normal time slot, only on the weekend. What land am I fetching here? Probably another white source. If they have another Searing Blood / Searing Blaze, we could be in trouble. Could also just be dead to Boros Charm plus another spell. Yep. So, tough game on the draw. The fact that every one of our lands did 1 damage to us, definitely instrumental there. Fetch lands good with Omnath, not great against burn. Do I want Qasali Pridemage because they have a bunch of Roiling Vortexes? Probably. They generally speaking play some amount of Helix. This is fine. I'd feel better about it if it had a third land, but I think this is in the range of keepable. I suppose we can Eladamri's Call for a... Okay, that's a Utopia Sprawl. We can Eladamri's Call for a Solitude. I think I just fetch basic forest and put this on white here. And then I'm going to go ahead and Prismatic Ending this Storko. All right, so they have 6 spells in hand, which is marginally terrifying. I guess we're passing. And we're going to go ahead and call for a Knight of Autumn. Do I call for Knight of Autumn, or do I call for Prince, because Prince I can Ephemerate right away? I think it's just Knight of Autumn because it gains me more. We could draw a land to blink this. Sedge. So it's like nice that they're missing land drops, but also scary because it means their hand is all spells. Like if they don't have a land here, they have 21 points in hand. I'm gonna cast a Grey Ogre. So we have these chords. And this is why we cast Grey Ogre. Okay, so now I have to decide, am I working towards Chord of Calling, or am I putting this on here? I think I'm naming red and then planning to Seasoned Pyromancer away these Chord of Callings. Is my plan. So, unfortunately, Searing Blaze targets the player too, so I still take 3 from this, but I at least get to get rid of their Goblin Guide. So, glass half full. I'm going to choose to blink nothing here. I think I leave 1 green available in case I draw Mana Dork. Do I want to get rid of Skyclave or Chord of Calling? I think I actually get rid of Skyclave because I drew another green source. I'm only 1 green away from being able to... Yeah, so now this for basic forest next turn lets me Chord. There's that Helix someone was asking about a second ago. So... Unfortunately, these are not on green, so I can't Chord for Omnath and play a fetch land this turn because I lack a 3rd green source. So it's probably just call for Chord for Prince, right? Is my best option because the Knight of Autumn is already down. And I'm unfortunately 1 mana short of being able to Chord for Prince and Resto the Prince, because I could tap 2 of these, but I don't have a green card again. Our mana is definitely more than a touch awkward this game. So we can, in theory, die next turn. We know their hand is all spells, so if they have 3 1 mana... If they have 3 1 mana deal 3s, we are dead. They get a draw step as well. 2 really close games here on the back end. Both of us fumbled a little bit with our mana in these games. This third game. Okay, do they have land and then 2 spells? They had to point a burn spell at our creature there. Seems to bode well for us. So this puts them to 1, which shuts off Sunbaked Canyon, and then I get to resto the Prince here to gain another 3. And opponent concedes. Sweet. Yeah, close game. It's possible the turn I called for the knight, I should have called for the prince and then blinked it right away. It would have gained me 2 more. Would have used my Ephemerate up sooner, but 2 more life would have been a big deal. That was a close call. If I would have hit the land that turn, I would have been able to knight plus blink the knight, which would have been more upside. Lavinia here is one I talked about during the deck tech, but if you're coming in late, I think it's a really reasonable card in the format right now. It's good against opposing people using these pitch elementals. It's good. It's decent against Tron. It's decent against the Cascade decks. So it does a lot of what you're looking to do in the format at the moment. Nice card to proactively put into play. Easy mulligan to start. Well, this is a keep. I mean, I'm mourning Jeff every day of the week, to be fair. Suspend Lotus Bloom. All right. Speaking of things Lavinia is decent against, if we can find a green source for this. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. So we'll drop this into play. We'll probably be calling for Lavinia. So probably ad nauseum. Like a Pentat Prism. Yep. Okay, and this draw means we'll fetch Stomping Grounds here. Hey, thanks for the tip, Mr. Tasty. Full circle Kiki card. I do enjoy me some free Kiki. Oh look! Another suspend spell. Nice. Hey, thanks to whoever checked out the Marvel promo. Appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to support my content with that. Alright, inch it up to that 175 goal. Trigger. Counter your spell. Good shit. Alright, so I think we're supposed to Season Boy here. Gives me a decent amount of power. We'll ditch Solitude and Wall of Omens, I think. That was probably you then, Burger. Yeah, it just takes a couple minutes. Good night. Man, look at this card. Worth its slot here. Yeah, this card's gonna be Gasoline Historic. It's a really fantastic mid-range card. Love it. Hellrider, sure. The sweet one. What are we discarding here? I think it's the Ephemerate. They dead. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're one short. Oh, if I would have kept the Ephemerate, I could have blinked this and then threatened lethal this turn, right? Something to keep track of. Yeah, if we assume we were going to draw some spells. It has been 2 years, Blade, and of course, timeouts are always free here. Thanks for the 24 months. Okay, so I can Omnath, draw a card, play land, gain some life, crack fetch, grab a forest, call. I think I just get Knight of Autumn and Knight of Autumn the Pentad Prism, right? Ooh, that's true. Angel's Grace can buy them some time here potentially. Presenting lethal a turn sooner would have had value though, because like it puts more pressure on them. Yeah, Lavinia was very good this set for sure. How do we lose here? They could have a sweeper of some sort in their main deck. Sometimes these decks have controlling elements. No. No Pact of Negation for you. All right, so we've got Eidolon of Rhetoric. May or may not want Prismatic Ending and Kataki here. We definitely don't want Solitude. We don't want Omnath or Thrun. We don't need Endurance. We don't need Charming Prince. That works out pretty well. It's 80 cards. Looks good. Like we want any of these up here. There could be discussion to Obsidian Charmaw, because like stone raining them on occasion is good. The opponent had a prismatic thing. It makes mana. Hey, thanks server checked out the Marvel promo. Appreciate you. Oh, they're a Thassa's Oracle deck now. Huh. Okay, so we do want this. I'm used to them playing Laboratory Maniac, but sure, I believe Chad is right that they're a Thassa's Oracle deck now. Oh, that was a Phyrexian Unlife was the enchantment that we killed at the end. Actually, I probably just cut a couple Wall of Omens, right? I think I want to keep Ephemerate for blinking my hate cards in response to removal. It's like a 1-mana counterspell, basically. Yeah. Let's do this. Oh, yeah, that's true. Even Laboratory Maniac gets disrupted by it. Yeah, good call. Just puts cards back in their deck. Yeah, this is good, right? Cast Teferi on turn 2. Do I want to cast Teferi on turn 2? Probably. They didn't suspend anything. There's like less pressing to get Teferi down quickly. The problem with casting Teferi turn 2 at this hand is it means I have to put this Utopia Sprawl on blue, and then I don't have double red or double white. So I think I'm actually supposed to play the Ketria Triome on one and hold on to the Sprawl for now. Because the fixing seems more important than the acceleration. Well, I guess one other thing that's new is I've got a Ketria Triome in here today. In previous builds, we'd only been playing a Jeskai Triome, and I wanted to try a second. I cut there was a red-white Pain land in the mana base, or draw the pay 1 life draw card land. So I think I'm going to put this on white. So we'll do this, put this on white here, and then cast a Free Time Reveler. Spell Pierce. Okay. Interesting one. I guess it stops our various tutors for hate cards. That makes sense. Yeah, no, you were probably the last one that popped up then, Mikey. Thanks for doing that. Do I want a Chord for a 2-drop here? I think I just want to get attacking, and we'll like End-Step Restoration Angel to put more pressure on. Although I guess End-Step Restoration Angel doesn't really apply pressure, right? Because then the Qasali Pridemage isn't attacking. I guess it attacks her own more. I'm going to pass and plan to Chord for Lavinia here. I'm actually going to run to the restroom really quick. This is Moto, so I can take an 8-minute break. I'll be back in 2 minutes, though. BRB 1 second. Should have typed BRB in their timer. Big brain plays. Hey, I'm glad you liked it, Cams, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, well, I definitely see where people coming from, like, a League of Legends background, hearing how, like, League and some of the other ones are monetized, prefer League's monetization. As someone who's, like, grown up playing Magic the Gathering, like, Unite's monetization is better than that, so. Oblong, thank you for the 18 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, well, change of plans. We will play Resto to save the Qasali Pridemage. And thanks to whoever checked out the Marvel promo. Nope, no link, no account link. Just download it using the link and then play through level 2. That's sweet. That's on white. So we'll attack for 4 here in the air. And then we'll play the Azorius Renegade out, and then we can Eladamri's Call for something else. I was thinking about it the other day, Punchworthy, and with Unite and Magic Arena being the 2 games I'm making the most content for these days, in a way, this is kind of a mobile game Twitch stream, huh? Unite's gonna hit mobile in a month, and Arena's already on mobile, so we're kind of a mobile game stream in a way. Thanks for the 2 years, Dougie. Welcome back. Or Doug, if you prefer Dougie or Doug. Appreciate it. Ouphe would allow me to chord for Kiki next turn. It's an interesting thought. You can pre-register for the Unite Mobile. There's a link on their Twitter. In fact, if you do pre-register for the Unite Mobile, you get it gives people extra stuff. All right. So, I'm not killing them this turn anyways. So I think we actually just like Prismatic Ending plus Collector Ouphe this turn. No, they don't have an affiliate program or anything like that set up. These decks do frequently have sweepers post board, so we could see like a Wrath of God or something here. Or sorry, Damnation. Oh my gosh. Wow, we lost. I wasn't expecting them to have multiple Thassa's Oracles. So I punted by not holding mana up here. So this says they don't lose for having less life, and this decks them. Yeah, just inexperience playing against their deck. Okay, so we'll be on the play for game 3. This was definitely my game to lose, and if I just don't play this and instead hold up Qasali Pridemage, we're like almost guaranteed to win. Yeah, Kiki Cord wins that game if I'm better at understanding how their deck works. That's good to know. Yeah, the QR code is the same thing as using Link. Yeah, it should be all cross platform, cross account play, Dual Josh, when Unite comes to mobile. Really, they're not playing much interaction. That's good to know. Means my permanent base take cards are pretty good if I play appropriately. So I need double white for this. This is probably grabbing a Jeskai Tram, and this will grab a Temple Garden. It's a real shame I threw that game in the trash can. We were so far ahead. Spoils. I wasn't expecting Spoils of the Vault to be the win con. In my head, I kept calling them an Ad Nauseam deck, so I was like, oh, they can't Ad Nauseam and Thassa's Oracle me to kill me the following turn. And then we got punked by that. Definitely on me. What am I calling for here? We're gonna Skyclave Apparition this next turn. What do I want to call for? It honestly might be right to just wait on the call because it pitches to Endurance to like try and disrupt their combo. Yeah, I think that's what I do. The fair spoils here. So they're really more of a spoils Thassa's Oracle deck than an Ad Nauseam deck at this point, huh? Need your Angel's Grace here. Hey, a couple more on the Marvel promo. Appreciate that. That's 167. And then we could lose next turn if they have Pact of Negation, huh? We'll go ahead and attack for 2 here, and then we'll Restoration Angel to try and take the Phyrexian on life. But if they Pact of Negation the Angel, they can Angel's Grace during their upkeep. Well, I guess we could theoretically still lose, right? Because they could have a Black Source. So if they go Black Source, Angel's Grace spoils Thassa's Oracle. Endurance might give us counterplay, yeah. So they could theoretically go for it here, right? I'm gonna play this out to play around Spell Pierce that they showed us last game. Thanks for the entire year of support, Hidden Flame. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Get your sword to go with that shield. So, do we bounce the Prism or bounce their token? It does, Flame. I think I'm supposed to bounce the Prism, right? And then we just trade these. Teferi stops both their combos. Does it? No, because they just spoils first and then Thassa's Oracle after, right? Yeah, this cuts them off of Ad Nauseam next turn, which is nice. And now I have to decide. I think this is pitching to this in a pinch. So I think I'm gonna attack for 3 here, and then we'll put this in front of the 2/2. Oh, they didn't attack Teferi. Nice. So we'll call, and then what are we calling for? Do I just get Kiki? Because that way if I draw a red source, they die? Or do I get a disruptive element? I could just put Eidolon into play. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get Eidolon. Well, I have Teferi. My opponent's playing Hearthstone Owl, just for reference. All right, with the second endurance draw, I'm gonna play out this bird for mana. I'm gonna do this. We'll attack for 3 in the air. We'll push our Teferi up. So Prismatic Ending feels like an expel. Are they ending the Restoration Angel to kill my clock? Why they keep overcasting this for one, and I don't understand why. Maybe they don't know how their card works. Maybe they don't realize the white in the casting cost counts towards it. It's the second time. Like they did that last game too, where they paid one more than they needed to. Must be newer to the deck / that card. Okay, and now we can like, and if they don't kill us this turn, we can end step flash in endurance. Then they're dead. And with endurance plus Teferi here, we should be good to not die. I think. Just endurance their graveyard back in response to their Oracle trigger. Hey, thanks Trevor. Checked out the Marvel promo. Appreciate you. 5 more for that goal. And then there were 4. It is quite a bit of time, AGH. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for the 40 months. RQ, thanks for the follow. Well, so the Hydra actually isn't an arena interface thing, Swift. If you look at the rules text of Layer of the Hydra, it actually says X has to be at least 1. There's the link there. God Baron Von YOLO Swag. Your username is great. So opponent probably trying to figure out what they can play around and what they can't here. Okay, so they've Angels Graced, and now they're ad nauseaming. So I don't know what they do with no mana from here, right? So like they don't die this turn, but they die at end of turn when the Angel's Grace wears off. Yeah, Simian Spirit Guide isn't legal. So like maybe they were just hoping I don't know how their deck works and I concede when they cast Ad Nauseam, but I do know how their deck works and I'm not conceding. Yeah, they're definitely a lot more. In fact, looking here, they only have 2 Ad Nauseams in their deck. They're a lot more of a Spoils of the Vault deck than an Ad Nauseam deck these days. So again, my opponent's not dying here yet because they have Angel's Grace's effect in play, but this effect wears off. And they don't have ways to make extra mana here, so they can like play a land and cast a 1 mana spell, but they ain't got nothing after that. 172. Thanks to whoever did that. So losing the game is a state-based effect that you can't respond to. So as soon as Angel's Grace's effect is gone, the game ends. They don't get to like respond to losing the game with Angel's Grace. Yeah, so we would have won all 3 games in that set if I had understood their deck better. Thankfully we won the first game. So we were able to win the third game after I punted the second one really hard. Being aware of the fact that they're a spoils Thassa's Oracle deck is definitely something I will do for the future. No, they're a Thassa's Oracle deck now. Yes, we also have Teferi Raveler of Hearthstone or Fun, whatever you want to call it, in play, so. Okay, opponent is on a Lurrus deck, and this hand's probably decent in the average Lurrus deck matchup. It's got mana, it's got our colors. It's technically missing a 3rd green for these chords, but if it cantrips, hopefully we'll find one before then. The Lurrus decks in this format tend to be very mid-rangey on average. Or they tend to be Hammer Time. Our hand's not strictly great against Hammer Time. They must already have a hammer in hand, huh? Okay. It's not a green source, but it's at least a 4th land for these Restoration Angels. I guess if they have Spear plus Hammer here, we actually are in a bit of trouble. Yeah, their Urza Saga is going to get them another Hammer next turn, and then we die. Huh. All right, so we need a live draw here. Okay, that constitutes a live draw. That'll do, pig. We had three shots at it with the Seasoned Pyromancer, but I'll take it in one every time for sure. Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't discard the Resto because I have to bin a Resto to. I have to bin a Resto to Solitude. Is there any reason for me to not just Solitude now? They don't play any flash creatures, right? Oh, I should let them get the hammer because if I Solitude now, they'll get a different utility card. They don't usually have protection in their main, I don't think. Hey, thanks for ever checked out the Strike Force promo. 173 out of the 175 goal. I guess I should tell Christy we're streaming tomorrow. Told her yesterday I wasn't sure. Okay, and they went with a more conservative play here of not getting the hammer because they figured we were dead enough, which is probably fair. Not unreasonable. Zer! That's our 40th shillionaire here in Hoaglandia. The trickle-down economy works, chat. The trickle-down economy works. Thanks to Zer's hard work, the next Hoaglandian only needs 999,960 shillings. Thanks for watching a bunch over the last while. You can use the normal deck submission form, Zer, to submit a deck you'd like to see played on stream. You're welcome to submit something that could get played as soon as tomorrow. Looks like we're doing a stream tomorrow. Or you're welcome to submit something with the new Historic Horizons cards as well. So whatever you'd prefer. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to block with all of these to encourage them to play another hammer if they have one. To try and push lethal here. And I think I am doing this still, even though I'm technically not dead. I want to keep my tokens for this Chord of Calling. I'm glad you enjoy the environment here, Gun3. You have a paladin? Smith. Okay. Okay, so and here's a tough question. Do I No, I guess it's not even a tough question. I just like play basic Forest Pass, right? Because if they cast the you can equip for free card, I'll chord for the what's it called? Stony Silence. And if they try and cast another hammer, we'll chord for something else. And if they don't try and lethal us this turn, we get to chord for resto, chord for Kiki, kill them. Okay, yeah, so here's the Pure Steel Paladin. So in response to the Paladin, we'll chord for 2 and get the Stony Silence. Which makes it so their equipment can't attach. Oof. Do I trade here? Hey, 174 out of 175. Thanks to whoever did that. Do I want to block or do I want to be able to resto this Pyromancer? I think I want to block here because this thing can get bigger. Oh, I guess we could still be dead here, right? Because they could still have another hammer in hand. Man, what a just fucking savage deck. Their deck is so good. It's kind of unreal, right? It's incredibly frustrating deck to play against. When they have all of their pieces, there's just like every time we've played against that archetype, it just happens like that, where we like set up and lock out 3 of their 4 pieces, and they just like have another one in hand. Yeah. I don't like I could have discarded something different to Pyromancer, but I don't even know that that would have made a difference that game. Yeah, one mana plus 10 damage, especially when they have like the free unblockable creatures, is really frustrating. Hey, we hit the 175 goal. Thanks everybody that did that. Appreciate you. I think I was gonna take it down now. I think 225 is probably a stretch, so thanks for that. We'll be streaming all day tomorrow. Nope, yep, that's perfect, God Baron. Chalice on 1 is good against them. Sure, you can play a narrow, hyper-focused hate card to be good against the opponent's modern deck. You are correct. That is an accurate assessment. Like that game though, right? Like I had a removal spell, I had blockers, I had a Stony Silence, like it just none of it mattered. They fold the Bolt Fatal Push decks. No, against Bolt Fatal Push decks, they grind you out with Urza Saga. When we played Hammer Time, it was very like they're the people asking like, is their deck a fluke? No, the opponent's archetype has been posting results consistently, and I think it is arguably the best deck in the current format. So like people that are being like, but Jeff, you can play all these hate cards, like their deck is posting lots of results. It isn't just like, oh, we got here by the extra hammer and whatnot. Like their deck is hyper consistent, chat. They have sagas to search up their pieces, and they have sagas to search up their pieces, and they have what's it called? Past that, they have Stoneforge Mystic as well. It does. Yes, it's a good deck that has ways to beat the hate cards. Chalice is good against a lot of decks in the format. So guess what, chat? I'm gonna explain this to you because chat doesn't seem to get it. If Chalice is good against a lot of decks in the format, that means most decks in the format can't play it. So it's like saying, it's like pointing out Chalice is good against the Brainstorm decks in Legacy. You're not wrong that it's good against the Brainstorm decks in Legacy, but also the Brainstorm decks are still better because they're more consistent, and you'd rather just be playing the more powerful cards that are weak to Chalice than playing Chalice of the Void. That's just how it works out. So you're not wrong, but also you missed the point. Mr. Flick and Coffee Mug, thanks for the brand new Prime subs. I appreciate the support. There's a ton of great people you can send those to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending your Bezo bucks this way this month. Mr. Bips, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. Tour Guides, thanks for the 8 months. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Thanks, Coffee. She is adorable. Is this just Sprawl hope to play Restoration Angel into Kiki-Jiki next turn? I think is the play. Neighbor at 8, thanks for the 34 months. Welcome back. It is JRC. And also, this is something I've talked about before, but it's still true. Even making only 2 to 4 modern videos per week, I ban more people on my YouTube channel for obnoxious comments from modern videos than I do from all of my other videos. all my other arena and non-magic content. And that's not to say that everybody likes modern is obnoxious, but it is to say the obnoxious people gravitate more heavily towards modern. I think we're just setting up to combo kill them for next turn, right? We'll go block, block. We'll resto. We'll resto blink the wall to save it. They could have a path here, but I think we're definitely just supposed to head to the Space Gym. All right. Could just click it a bit. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Also, like, for the record, there's some people in chat talking about how, like, you know, jokingly saying they don't know anything. When I say I remove more comments on modern videos, I'm not even talking about comments that are critiquing my play. Because I'm human. I'm doing 2 or 3 things at once when I'm streaming. I frequently make mistakes here on stream, and I appreciate the people that point out my mistakes and explain why they think I could do better in different positions with information that we have. When I'm talking about I remove more comments related to modern related content, I'm talking about comments that are just like very pointedly, obviously toxic, rude, harassing. So it's important to point out there that I'm not just being petty and being like, no, you can't say Jeff made a mistake. Like, I make plenty of mistakes here on stream. I think I'm ditching Restoration Angel here. With Qasali and Eternal Witness pick back up fetch land, we should have enough green for Chord to be useful this game. It could be right to board in Charmaw. Charmaw does hit Inkmoth and Saga. Okay, we could be dead next turn, which is again one of the reasons why their deck is so good. We could actually take 20 and die here. They go land, hammer, hammer, kill us. Which is again one of the reasons why their deck is probably the best deck in the format. So this attaches their equipments for free for reference for people that don't know how their deck works. Okay, so step 1, we didn't die. Now, what is step 2? I think it's Temple Garden Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, I think we want to get rid of the Paladin. We wanted Jeff Reed's bead tweet. Listen, chat. My Twitter block list is approaching 2,000 people. there aren't that many mean tweets because I thin things out. So sorry to disappoint. Ken X, thank you for the tier 3. That's very generous. Welcome back. I appreciate the 27 months. Unban requests react. We actually don't have that many unban requests because we actually don't act. I don't actually ban that many people on this channel. Sub only chat helps with that. I'm sure if we were an open chat stream, there would be more MAGA types that would get banned and that, yeah. What are we killing here? Am I killing the hammer or the ornithopter? Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have attacked, and I should have left Skyclave back to kill the ornithopter. Yeah, that was probably the line. I think I want to kill. It's actually close. I think it's the ornithopter. Because they have the Springleaf Drum. And we've already dealt with one Pure Steel Paladin, so like they have to have another Paladin in order to make this useful. Prismatic Ending by Sprawl. Yeah, you got me. Alright, so this is fetching a Jeskai land then. Okay, so Solitude's actually a decent pickup because it gives us insurance in case they have land second hammer next turn. Now the question is, do I want to fetch land or do I want a Qasali Pridemage? It might actually just be better to pick the Pridemage up, right? Like Pridemage just being a 1-mana Doomblade sitting on board is probably very valuable. Yeah, holding up mana for Pridemage while also having Solitude probably puts us in a very difficult to lose position. Agree. That reminds me, speaking of, it's not strictly an unban request, but I ended up banning the person for good measure after the fact. Because I've been offering to gift subs to not gift subs to non-subs that check out the Marvel promo. Um, I had someone complain yesterday to a mod that they weren't gifted a subscription immediately upon completing the Marvel promo, and they let me know that they were reporting my channel for scamming my viewers. Which cracked me up. It's like I wonder how they expected to get the sub gift immediately when like at no point did they link their accounts together. I mean, like for reference, that report's gonna bounce off and not do anything because it's nonsense. And like, I talk to my Twitch rep on the regular, but like, it's just like it's not a big deal. But it was funny, right? Yeah, it was peak Karen for sure. Okay, so how about we Solitude pitch Wall of Omens and then Chord for Charming Prince Blink the Solitude? I think is the play, right? And just get rid of both their Stoneforge Mystics. Oh, I'm already at the end step, so I won't blink the other one until the end of the next end step, but that's fine, right? Oh, did I cut Charming Prince? That's a good call. Oh, I did. Shoot. Yeah, I shouldn't cut Charming Prince. Damn it, Hogland. Good catch. Thank you for saving me from myself. That Twitch chat advantage. All right, we'll just grab Ketria Triome then. Fat Robot, thanks for the 10 months. If I had a Charming Prince, I'd get them there, but we don't have a Charming Prince because I'm a big stupid. Okay, but now this turn we can it's gonna pass actually. And wait and see what they do. The Marvel, we hit our 175 goal. So I'm gonna Delcom. We're not gonna push for the last one. Sure, assuming I don't need to play any interaction, I could kill them in 2 turns, but there's also a very high chance I need some amount of interaction over the next couple of turns, right? In fact, now I think we Solitude Resto the Solitude, and then we can still leave a mana up for Qasali Pridemage to kill Ink Moth, right? So the 20 months Avalanche. And remember, you can chord using the Solitude, so we can leave a mana up here. So we'll get rid of both of their things. They do go up to 9, but yeah, they are dead on board for next turn now. Yeah, I just don't think we're gonna push to. I just don't think we're gonna hit 50, Alec. Getting 50 today is unlikely. They slowed down, so I'm happy we hit the 175. I technically get another bonus at 225, but I don't expect to push for that or to hit that metric. And then, well, now we just do that, right? There's no reason not to. There is a Hooglandia Clan and Strike Force for people that are playing it. I've played a little bit off stream. I don't know how much I'm gonna do, but I am in the clan. So if you're someone that's gonna poke at Strike Force some more after the promo, there is a Hooglandia group that's got I think about a dozen people in at this point. And they could have a Path here. That's a card they play sometimes. But if they had Path, they weren't dying to an attack all anyways. So I might as well try and do this. All right, so we got punked out of the first game. We were very lucky to win that third game. They could have killed us on turn 2, but they didn't have it. Yeah, Guardian Tales was a good one too. It was neat that that one's a real-time action one. I think Geeky Court is very reasonable. We are consistently 3-2 or better with this deck. I think it has lots of good tools. So that's not even strictly true, Precipic. So for reference, Kiki Cord top aided the 200 player Hunter Burton Memorial Tournament in Texas earlier this month. And it's also top aided the modern challenges in the hands of other people. It isn't nearly as popular as the Elementals deck, but I honestly think this deck is just better than the Elementals deck that's been going around. It's has a lot of similar components to the Elementals deck while also having a combo kill wrapped up in it, which I think is very powerful in this format. I think Mono Green Tron is fine. If you look back at my YouTube channel, Fedmart, there is a video of us playing Tron from early this month or late last month. I think it's super reasonable. Storybook Brawl is an auto battler, which I don't really care for that genre of game. This deck is obviously 33% better than the Elementals deck because we play 80 cards and the Elementals deck only plays 60. Oh, that's great. I mean, you're not wrong, Burgle. You're not wrong. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a good one. Okay, so we're definitely bottoming 2 lands here. Probably these 2. I mean, Canister has also had good success with the Elementals deck, and for reference, I don't think the Elementals deck is bad. I just think the powerful things the Elementals deck is doing, this deck is also doing most of them while having another powerful axis to attack on. Yes, I agree. I think Eric's assessment there is also correct. Elementals feels like a very metagame deck that's good specifically against a number of the top things in Modern, but it really struggles with more of the fringe things in the format. And I think this deck, because of its tutor package, has a lot of decent play against the miscellaneous things. All right, so am I sprawling this turn? I think I'm sprawling this turn. I prefer the build without Card in the Great Creator. I think I'm probably like Sprawl for white here, and then next turn we'll Wall of Omens plus fetch a tap land. They have the Ovaltine Daredevil. Yeah, and you, like I said, if you check the YouTube video from the last month or so, it has the deck list in the video description, so you can see like what my preferred Greentron build is. Captain Corf, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. If you go to the front page of the YouTube channel, there's a playlist with all the Modern videos in it. If you haven't been to my YouTube channel before, it's very well organized. Every format and game that I play has a playlist where it's easy to find just the content for those. Opponent is popping off here. Huh. So with the Solitude draw, do I plow the Emery and then Pyro? Because I'll be down to 1 card in hand if I plow and play a land, so the Pyro will net me 1. And this is on white. So I have to fetch a Sacred Foundry. I think that's the play. Because they do have a Thought Monitor in their bin here. So they're gonna get to do this. They're gonna get to draw 2 next turn if I don't get rid of this Emery. So we technically like 2 for 1 to ourselves on the Emery, but the Pyromancer is going to end us netting us a card. I don't have a lot of green mana, unfortunately. So, like, Chord's going to be an awkward draw from here. That's not terrible. That's castable. Hey, thanks for the 20 months, Sackalanche. Thanks for the 11 months, Captain Corf. Yeah, I agree, Precipic. I'm looking forward to Historic Horizons, but I'm definitely looking forward to Standard Rotation more. Standard Rotation is the Magic activity I am most looking forward to at this current point in time. Huh. We just played Birds of Paradise? I think we just played Birds of Paradise. One of the cards I've been going back and forth on that I did end up in my 75 with, or my 95 today, was Kataki. So we'll have a Kataki post board for this matchup, which is nice. I meant to DM you the other day, Precipic. You have any thoughts on the Runeterra spoilers? I haven't really looked myself, but I wasn't sure if you've been keeping up. I saw they had some multicolored cards, but I didn't really look at the details on them. All right, so Asmo's gonna murder my board here. I have Skyclave to deal with Asmo, though. They're sweet, but don't address the game's problems. Yeah, that was you're someone that I could assume would give me a straight answer on that. So, and there's that Chord of Calling that I can't currently do anything with. So, yikes. Yeah, Skyclave answers Asmo, but not before it murders my whole board, right? Because they've had the Ovaltine Daredevil going with the cookbooks. Getting Metallic Rebuked. Okay. Alright, so removal spells, Pridemage, War's Wage. Charmaw might be worth bringing in here too. Thrun comes out. I think this is an endurance out matchup. Does Lavinia stop? Oh yeah, Sanctifier stops Daredevil. Does Lavinia stop Asmo, or did they technically pay mana to cast it? Their thing had Flying Burgle. Yeah, they mad buffed Lee Sin Android, and then they printed a bunch of cards that let him combo kill people. They still pay 1 to cast it. Okay, so that's not very good. What am I supposed to get rid of here? Is Omnath too slow? The life gain from Omnath sounds like it has some appeal. Maybe Obsidian Charmaw is too cute. You want to cut a Pyro? I don't hate that. Then I'm still in a lot of cards that feel reasonable. It's probably just Omnath, though. And now I need one more trim. If we cut Birds of Paradise, it just gets mowed down by an Asmo in a lot of spots. They're more of an engine deck than a combo deck, but you could probably also argue that that's splitting hairs a little bit. Keep, I guess. For people that are new in chat and you're wondering what does Jeff mean by an engine deck, and the way I personally would define an engine deck is a deck that has cards that kind of have powerful synergies together, but they don't win the game outright. So like the Oven plus Ovaltine Daredevil is kind of their engine in this instance. Do I just kill the cookbook? Or do I save the ending to deal with an Asmo? I could kind of go either way on that. The Prismatic Ending also has value as potentially pitching to Solitude. That's an Ephemerate, not a Path. But I could also draw Yorion and use Yorion to pitch to Solitude. Yeah, turning the cookbook does have the upside of maybe just turning their deck off is accurate. And they have the Ovaltine Daredevil here, which makes getting rid of the cookbook more valuable. We didn't know they had that, but they play 3 to 4 of them usually. Their deck is significantly worse without their engine pieces, for sure. Oh, they have another one and an Asmo, which means they have 2 more. Kentucky doesn't even do anything because they have Asmodee. What's going on, Homemade Meat? Thanks for 13 months. Welcome back. And this is the downside to using my Prismatic Ending like we did. Is I could have had a Prismatic Ending to use on this, and then they would have just gotten to sit here and make food. But the food are worse against Kataki and War's Wage, or Kataki and Collector Ouphe. Now, if they're just making a Saga token this turn and not playing the other Oven out, that plays pretty well into our Solitude Ephemerate. So now what gets to happen is they'll make a token at end of turn. I'll Solitude pitching Yorion, target the Asmo, and then if they go to kill the Solitude, I'll be able to Ephemerate it in response. And then we'll get the token as well. Yeah, so we get to go ahead and do this, pitch this. And they don't have 4 foods yet, so they can't respond again. So we get to do this. We stack it so the exile resolves before the evoke. And then Asmo's gone when I Ephemerate, so they can't kill it in response to the Ephemerate. And then this Ephemerate's also in exile here, so if they make another Saga token next turn, the Solitude with the Ephemerate's going to tag that as well. Yeah, I agree, Prismatic, and that's a good description. They turned their game into Yu-Gi-Oh is accurate. Which I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is wildly popular, and actually, fun fact, mobile Yu-Gi-Oh is actually the most profitable mobile card game in the world. So mimicking Runeterra, mimicking their play patterns off of Yu-Gi-Oh is probably going to find them a lot of success. It does mean that I'm not a good target for it though. It is explicitly not the type of gameplay that I enjoy. Okay, so they can spellbomb the Solitude in response to me targeting it with Ephemerate, but we'll still do that to force the trigger on the spellbomb. I have all my colors here, right? Just need, I have double red, I have triple green, I have double white. What is Runeterra doing like Yu-Gi-Oh? Their gameplay is very combo oriented / centric. Basically every competitive deck in Runeterra at this point has a combo kill of some sort inside of it. There's like aggro decks and control decks, but they all have combo finishes of some sort to be competitive. So it has different archetypes still, but basically every archetype is combo X. You know, I'm just gonna do this now so I don't get metallic rebuked off this Solitude. Well, I guess I should fetch a third red at some point, huh? We technically have Kiki in our deck. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is dual links. Pioneer's actually relatively fair at the moment, right? They finally, it was combo focused for a long time, but they pulled the plug on that. All right, so their hand is Ovaltine Daredevil plus 2 cards we don't know. Oh, it's actually double devil, right? Because they milled another one with Emery here. I believe their hand is double devil. So we're like technically in a staring contest here now. They could sit here and make a bunch of food, and I can attack for 3 and lifelink. So everybody's life total is just going up this game. Health totals to the moon. I might want to respond to some of those triggers at some point, but we can turn off auto yields if we get to that point. So gonna come down to top decks here, which honestly I don't know who that favors. Like they have Mull Drifters in their deck, but I've got like Chords and Eladamri's Calls, which allow me to like loop with Eternal Witness to find my combo. So we both have big draws from this position. This game could definitely go either way at this point. Oh, they can just cast their devil. Huh. Yeah, I guess that's a legal play. Cast Oval Chase Daredevil. Wait, that's illegal. Jen, thank you for the 54 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Okay, and then they top deck before we did, so I assume we're dead now. So, like I said, this game could break either way. They drew an Asmodee immediately. We drew Birds of Paradise. So, this can sacrifice 2 food to deal 6 damage to any creature. Well, I mean, that almost gets us back to parity, right? My Thrun is in my sideboard. So I just have to Solitude the Asmodee, right? And then they get to kill it. And then they have the devil beating me down. Oh, I do still have Skyclave. Yeah, I could Skyclave because that's better. Because they're just going to kill whatever I get anyways, so might as well get Skyclave. Thanks for the follow, B&B. So they'll murder Skyclave in response here, but we'll still get rid of their Asmo. Oh, that's true. This has the creature deal damage to itself and Solitude is lifelink, so I'd be at 23 if I would have Solituded. There's more upside to having Solitude in my deck to draw, though. Yeah, I'm actually not sure which is correct there. It might be right to just take the 6 life. So you get Sanctifier to stall the board. It doesn't really stall the board, though, right? Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe Sanctifier is better there, Burgle. You might be right. Yeah, it shuts down the food engine too, because they can't discard the Daredevil. No, I think you might be right, Burgle. Oh my god. Yeah, you are super right, because this picks Asmo back up from like I think that's actually the first time I've seen that ability get activated. That's not usually what this card does, but apparently it does that too. You were super right and didn't know it is accurate. Woof. And that was only there because they that was only there to begin with because they milled it with an Emery earlier, so unfortunate bit of variance for us. It's probably even wrong to play out the resto here. I think we're probably dead at this point. If I would have gotten the Sanctifier, I don't know that we would have guaranteed won the game if we got Sanctifier, but we'd be in a much better spot. They wouldn't have been able to make food, and their Asmo, their 4-2 wouldn't have been able to attack into it. Yeah, I mean, you're right, that's Sanctifier. So I'm courting for 4 to put him off the scent. For reference, even if I courted for 2, we still get Mana Leak there. Yeah, no, we just can't beat their top decks, right? Like, I could have gotten the Sanctifier earlier, but I don't even know that it really matters with their top decks like that. Like, we both had nothing, and then they drew Asmo right away. This is how it breaks sometimes. I think that second game was closer than it looked. If we're just the ones that are a little bit lucky with our top decks as opposed to them. The Asmo off the top with no card selection or filtering on their part was very fortunate. That's fine. To play the last one for 4-1. Can't win them all. I forgot because it hasn't been a part of my normal process. Untap supposedly supports me pasting a deck list now. Hold on, let me try. Is there a deck list on your screen? There should theoretically be a deck list on your screen now. Sweet. I'll have to remember to do that. And it's supposed to automatically switch over to the normal arena format when we get to the arena content. So we'll see if that happens too. We shall see. Oh yeah, that's another question. Does it work on mobile? Does it work on mobile or is it desktop only? I think I'm gonna grab the Ketria Triome so we can cast this for mana. They could be Bill. Peak Twitch chat is asking if it works on mobile and getting 2 different answers. you might need to reload your app. You might need to reload the app or like back out of the stream and back in. Perfect. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Untap supports MTGO decklist now. So, is it crazy to Solitude pitch Wall of Omens, Ephemerate the Solitude to just have a beatdown creature in play? I could also wall looking for a land. There's also value in just saving the Ephemerate for post endurance. Because having endurance in play with Chord of Calling in hand also has value later. I think I'm going to go digging for a land. Yeah. Began a cross-country road trip from New York City to California. We're spending much of that time in the passenger side watching Kiki Cord continue to be splendid. Stay safe out there, Dr. Mr. Punny. Usually for mobile things, there's a puzzle piece in the corner. It has an untapped logo on Android. Sweet. Like, you get the extensions, their own logos now. All right, I'm on Chord for 2. Am I just getting? I think you're just getting a Wall of Blossoms. I guess I could just get like Birds of Paradise too and work our way towards Kiki. I mean, they can hard cast Trap for a little bit. They're not that far off from hard casting Trap. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna grab a bird. So Eternal Witness hit the bin. They're playing Extirpate instead of Surgical Extraction. That's kind of gross and unfortunate. It says Split Second here, for those that haven't seen this card before. How crazy is it to just chord for my second endurance here? Yeah, I think that's the play. They took my restos away, so we're not comboing. Yeah, because if they go to drown this in the lock, I can evoke endurance in response. And then actually, if they do that, I could turn this one into Chord of Calling. Listen, chat, we came to play for the mill matchup. We've got an 80 card deck and 2 main deck endurance. Let's go. The combo is Kiki plus endurance to never get milled out. I mean, you're not wrong. Just passing here. Did I just I think we just solitude them now. While they're tapped out here. I'm gonna blink this to keep it. Okay, and then after this resolves, I endurance the endurance back into my deck while they're tapped out, I think, here. gain 4, something like that. All right, and then this Flooded Strand gets Sacred Foundry, which lets us cast Kiki-Jiki. So some of these decks have Sweepers, Postboard, Burgle. Some of them have Ensnaring Bridge. And I think I am, again, just going to run back the my Endurance back into my deck. Yeah, even the builds that have all the removal spells per goal aren't playing that are still playing in Bridge of the board sometimes. And one of the things that's fun is they have Luris as their companion, so we'll know if they bring in Bridge in the post board games. I have 2 of these, so I'm just gonna do this to stop this from happening, and then this comes back and draws me a card with Wall of Omens, which is nice. Sweet. So we'll do this here. Name white, I guess. Doesn't really matter. We have all the colors. All the colors of the rainbow. Draw this one. Then again, while they're tapped out here, I'm going to go ahead and call and grab my copy of Endurance out of my deck. Unfortunate that we didn't have Basic Forest to put that on earlier, but it's a lot of fun, Strange Journey. There's a reason why when I traveled around to play a ton of competitive Magic, this is what I spent most of my time playing. This deck, this archetype really highlights the best of what Magic the Gathering is, in my opinion. It just operates on all the axes that are incredibly sweet. So I actually think this deck is sweeter than Birthing Pod because Birthing Pod was generally just a combo kill engine. Whereas like Vanafear, for example, is legal in this format, but Vanafear is just a linear combo deck, which isn't super interesting. I'm gonna stack these draws so they happen after we Endurance. Oh, this goes on the bottom though, right? Yeah, never mind. I thought that shuffled them in, but it just puts them on the bottom. That's really crappy that your wife's job doesn't let her use sick time to care for sick family members. I'm pretty sure Christy's job lets her do that. I hope your kids end up all right, Rich. I'm sure that's stressful. And she works for a major hospital. Yikes. I can't believe they want her to come in. I can't believe they want her to come in when your kids tested positive. All right, so is this a Time Raveler matchup? It's definitely a Prismatic Ending matchup for dealing with crabs. Collector Ouphe isn't very good here. Lezev is fine. Knight of Autumn's fine in case they bring in Bridge. Thrun doesn't die. I might just submit 85 here. Our deck has a lot of mana in it. That's really terrible, Slow. Pyro's out? So, Pyros are free 1-1 sometimes. This match can also get a little attrition-y, especially post-board if they're bringing in sweepers. Yeah, she just turns off traps early. You're right, probably not good enough. O2s don't attack into their idiots. I don't think Crab is worth killing enough to bring in Path to Exile and give them mana. I'm going to bring in the Prismatic Endings for the Crabs, but I think Ending, Solitude, and Skyclave is plenty for those. Let's submit 84. My opponent boarded up to 63. Maybe they're worried about us milling them out. Still have Luris, so probably on sweepers, not bridges. Yes, Burgle. I'm gonna fetch basic forest to put. Am I? They ghost quartered me last game. So my sprawl's not even guaranteed safe on a basic. I think I'm gonna get basic, so they might have a ghost quarter plus fields. We'll see. I'm gonna name white with this. So we can Skyclave this next turn. We'll fetch Sacred Foundry if they don't mill it. Well, we lost the Sacred Foundry. And I only have one of those, so means we gotta do this to cast this. We lost our other Temple Garden too. You have any thoughts towards Pestermite or Exarch? There are a ton of things you could do in this deck to make your combo more redundant and combo more consistently. The answer to why don't I do that and why you shouldn't do that is this deck is a bad deck to play if you're looking to combo consistently. The appeal and the reason why this deck is good is because it is a mid-range deck with a combo backup plan. And if you try to make comboing your primary focus, your deck will be significantly worse in my experience. We are down in endurance here, yep. I need to fetch my basic mountain in response here. It's my only red source left that's untapped. You basically want to just be like this mid-range deck that threatens a combo occasionally. Like I talked earlier, this deck has a lot of parallels to elementals in Modern right now. Does a lot of very similar things, only it threatens a combo. You got me. Into the Story is an interesting one. Opponent's deck's a little bit more controlling than a lot of the mill builds I've seen. I have a pretty neat take on the archetype. Okay, so we just do this now while they're tapped out, right? It's a good drop. Don't get greedy, don't get punished. Reset your deck. Yes, so Obsidian Charmaw Metsu. One, we have Night of Autumn, Qasali Pridemage, and Skyclave Apparitions to cover artifacts and enchantments. Two, Obsidian Charmaw costs 3 mana when you're on the play against Tron. So they have 2 Tron pieces in play. You can Charmaw them on 3 before they assemble Tron. It also beats them down faster. Its stat line is better. But the fact that you can cast it on 3 before they assemble Tron is the big deal. You can call for it on 2, cast it on 3 when you're on the play. Yes, they also can't Veil of Summer it compared to Fulminator. I think the comparison of Acidic Slime is good, but the cost reduction is valuable. Yep, we hit the Marvel promo goal, so we broke the 175. All right, so do I try and save Resto here? I could Ephemerate the Resto, blink the Skyclave, kill the crab. I think that's worth attempting. What about the 225 goal? We're not going to hit that in a day, so I'm pulling it down. It technically still exists, but... Nah, I think I'd rather take their crab off the table than reset 4 cards back into my deck. Okay, so... How do we feel about Seasoned Pyromancer ditch these Solitudes? They're through 3 crabs at this point. They're through 3 crabs, and if they don't have Damnation right away, they're super far behind. Yeah, but I'm not like, I guess I'm killing them in 2. Does the Pyromancer put them dead on board? They block a 3, they take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's one short. Yeah, we could just draw Yorion. It's probably better. If the Pyromancer making 2 tokens put them dead on board, I think it'd be the play, but it does not. Because they block here and they're still only taking 9. Yes, they do have Field of Ruin rewarded for putting the Sprawl where we put it earlier. Thanks for the 17 months, Dietzel. I appreciate the Prime. Welcome back. I think we're just like end step make 2 Seasoned Pyromancer tokens, right? Got one of those in the bin they milled me into earlier. Okay, now we'll end step Solitude. What if we Solitude now in response? Triome here. We do still have 61 cards in our deck, so even if they mill us 12 here, we're in a decent spot. 25. 25 is a lot, though. Grab extra forest here. Yeah, I want triple green in case we draw a Chord. Mm-hmm. I think we do this and then we just Yorion, right? So we have them dead in the air. Lets me get rid of their crabs as well. And fetch with this now while they're tapped out. So we'll go exile, you, resto, blink this, exile the other one. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm... Yeah, this was wrong, actually. I should have restoed the Yorion, because then the Yorion would hide the resto and the Skyclave from a sweeper. I don't know that we're in a terrible spot if they have the sweeper, but I could have definitely played around it a little. All right, they're just dead. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so we hit the 4-1. Had a mistake, pretty big mistake in the match that we lost, and also ran a little bit cold. This 95 felt pretty good. Lavinia is definitely worth her slot. I don't think I would play without this card again. And it really feels like the last couple of leagues we've played with this, we've been filling in the last couple of like one-ofs really elegantly. Like, I don't think I'd leave home without Thrun anymore. I don't think I'd leave home without Lavinia. Kataki is reasonable against a lot of things. So it felt like most of our slots have felt good and been accounted for at this point, especially things like, I'm pretty confident at this point 2 Seasoned Pyromancer is correct. The 2 main deck Endurance have been insane on top of everything, the other cards that we have going on. One thing I'm not 100% certain of is there could definitely be merit to having a 9th Accelerant in the deck. I go back and forth on the math on that. I think If I recall correctly, let's just pull the math up here for folks at home, just so it's off the cuff. I believe we were like 4% more to see a mana dork, so 88 dorks. Let's say we're willing to mulligan to mulligan to 6 to find a mana dork, so we'll see 14 cards in that. So we're 80% to have a mana dork in 7 or 6 with 8 of them. And we're 84%. Yeah, it's only a 4% increase. So it's like approximately like 1 in 25 games you're more likely to have a mana dork, which I don't think makes it worthwhile to play a 9th. I think 80% in going to 6. And if you go to 5, you're 92%. So like in the matchups where the acceleration really matters, you're pretty likely to have it. Obviously, this number, and just for the statistical purists out there, this number's technically a little bit high because this includes hands that don't have lands to cast the mana dork in the calculation, but there's small enough of those hands that we can just like call that round off error, and 92% is like close enough. Yeah, even Jarvis wasn't gonna mention it. It's round off error. And that's one of the things where like you can, a lot of these calculations where you do with the hyper geo, they're not 100% accurate, but they're like close enough that you shouldn't do the extra work to get 100% accurate, because the amount of effort it takes compared to the amount of additional accuracy you get is just like not really worthwhile or useful. Yeah, also includes stuff like six land mana dork hands, etc. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy at 8. I think if I'm looking at this and I say someone says to me, Jeff, what slots are you not sure on in the deck at this point? I honestly think it might just be Auriok Champion. I think everything else in here is probably what you want to be playing at this point. You think Auriok Champion could be Linvala? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I could definitely see Linvala being good. I don't know. There aren't a lot of decks on Moto that Linvala is good against, but in paper, people tend to play more random things. So I think I agree with you that if I was playing in paper, I would probably play a Linvala over Auriok Champion. Online, there tend to be a lot more prowess and burn decks, which I like this against, but I think I agree with you that if I was expecting a more diverse random field than what Moto is, I would probably play a Linvala. Where's our record? Our record doesn't matter. This deck is sweet and powerful and consistent. All right, let's play some Arena.